Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be my first gear review video. Since I started my channel about 8-9 months ago now, I've been out here every weekend using my saw, my axe, my hatchet, knife, all the tools, my oilskin tarp, my stoves, all the things that I use in my videos and put to good use. I'm going to start talking about them with you guys in a little more detail. So today's video is going to be all about my saw, my Silky Zubat. It is actually an arborist saw as opposed to a folding saw, which is definitely the popular choice for a lot of outdoor enthusiasts, bushcrafters. I went with the Silky Zubat for a couple reasons, and we'll get into that today. So without further ado, let's get things set up, break the saw out, and start cutting some wood. All right, guys. Here it is, the Silky Zubat, or Zubat, however you want to pronounce it. It is an arborist saw, so professional tree cutters would prefer something like this. And in my mind, when I think about professional tree cutters, guys that do it for a living, I was really interested in maybe looking into what they use. And when I saw a video a while back on YouTube of an arborist using this thing, putting it to work, I was pretty impressed with it, I gotta say, and that's what drove me to purchase it. Of course, one downside is it doesn't fold, but at this size, the entire thing, I would say, is roughly about 18 inches long. It fits into almost any backpack just fine, and if you have a really small pack, you can strap it on the side. Or if you just want to wear it from the moment you head out the door, it's got a nice belt loop, so you can wear it on your belt, dangle it from your hip. And an awesome feature with the belt loop is it has this clip to release it whenever you want. So you could just leave this on your belt, walk around, do your whatever you got to do. The moment you want to get to work, clip it on, your hands free, you're ready to go. The saw clips in really nicely. It has these little rollers right here, plastic rollers. So you insert it, give it a little push, snaps right in, and it's definitely not going anywhere. I've never had an issue with it falling out on me. So that's a walkthrough with the sheath, and I really like that clip feature. I think that's an awesome concept. So let's get to what we all want to see, the fun part, the actual blade. So this blade, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is a good 2 years old. I use it in almost every YouTube video, and that means it's been out here every weekend for a good 8 or 9 months now. And even before that, I had it for about a year and a half, and I would use it at least a couple times a month, maybe every 2 weeks or so. I've definitely noticed its performance. It's worn down. It's not as mean as it used to be, but it still works very well considering how much use it's got. And I've found it kind of hard to change the blade when it still does the job. I just kind of want to really get the most out of it. But today's the day we're going to change the blade for you guys, and you guys will get to see the difference between this old beat up still works blade and a brand new cuts like butter blade. There's a couple nice dead standing trees here behind me, about the size that I usually cut down with this saw that I use for my campfires. But it can go much bigger than this. I've gone through trees that are maybe a full foot in diameter. You kind of got to work around it, but it gets the job done. And a really good quality blade, such as a Silky blade, will have a very slight tapering on the saw itself, on the face of it. So the teeth are a little bit wider than the back of the saw here, up towards the, maybe you call it the spine, whatever the terminology is, but you guys get the idea. And what that does is the cutting section, getting the work done, as you work your way through, the weight of the tree, especially if it's standing, this opened up section starts to put pressure on the saw itself. So without that tapering, it'll really start to bite on the saw. And so it makes a big difference where the working end is cutting through and you still have a little bit of gap. Of course, as you get to the end, the tree will start to clamp on it, and it gets harder once you get to the end of your cut. But regardless, I find that to be a really awesome feature. So look for something like that in a quality saw blade, something where it has a tapered face. Okay, well, let's get this tree down, huh? And you guys will see how well this saw does, even though it's so old. And you can see why I've had a hard time wanting to get rid of it, but today is the day, right? All right. So it's a little wet down here. I don't think it's too rotten though. So I think it'll be a pretty decent example. So you do want to be mindful and careful with doing something like this. I hope no professionals out there see my technique and really want to criticize me here, but this tree isn't too massive. Once I get a good chunk of the way through, I'll be able to get on the safe side of it and just push it over to where I want it to go. Okay. Now I should mention that the saw only cuts on the pull. So as you're sawing, you really want to focus on pull hard with a good rip, and then kind of let up, maybe lift the blade a little bit, push it through the cut, and then rip again. Kind of lift, rip, almost kind of like a cob wheel or like a train wheel kind of concept. All right. There's a look at the saw in action. Real quick, I want to show you guys the cut I just made. You can see that that piece of the tree, or yeah, that whole lower trunk isn't ideal. I mean, look at that big ball of a knot right there. But even on this piece here, you can see there was a very small knot. But the cut is super clean, and that's an old blade. So let's do a couple cuts with the old blade. We'll change out the blade, show you guys how you do that. It's really simple. And then we'll do a few cuts with the new blade. All right, so this old moss-covered stump is gonna do a pretty good job of acting as a sawhorse for me. Should stay pretty stable, and it should give us a pretty controlled test where it doesn't move around too much as I work my way through these sections. So, old blade, here we go. Just gonna go as close as I can right to where I cut it off from. Again, this section of the trunk is a little gnarled and twisted and not as straight as this middle section of the tree. So I think that's good to show you guys a test of something that's less than ideal, more realistic. So cut number one with the old blade. Here we go. I'm wondering if it'll stay stable enough I can pull with two hands. We'll do it one hand because that's more realistically the way you're going to use it. Just got to be careful here. All right, a couple runs through. Again, I'm only pulling the cut. All right, clean off. Not sure how long that was. I guess maybe a little less than a minute, about a minute. So there you go, old blade. You know, I don't think it's too necessary to do that twice. I think we'll just go straight into changing the blade and showing you the comparison. So here's a look at the blade. I could do a little reading. Non-set teeth. The blade is taper ground to reduce resistance, giving smoother, easier, faster cutting performance. The blade has 4 cutting angles at its length. It leaves a smooth surface after cutting and can rip, cross-cut, and slant cut. Nice. Impulse hardening. The teeth of the blades are heat treated instantly and hardened. They stay sharp about 3 times longer than non-hardened teeth. New electroless nickel plating coating process allows the entire blade, even the teeth, to be coated. This provides superior wear and rust resistance for improved cutting performance and extended blade life. And I can attest to that. I've never oiled this blade. It's never rusted on me. It's been out in rain. It's been on the dirt. I leave the sawdust in the teeth and 0 problems with it. This particular blade is large teeth, meant for pruning arborist. So it's a 330 millimeter length, 13 inches, 7.5 teeth for every 30 millimeters. Okay, Zubat Professional. All right, so taking it apart is as easy as just undoing these 2 screws. 1 screw coming out. Okay. Oh, it's actually metal. It's not plastic at all. Nice. It has some weight to it. There we go. Yeah, so I just took a stick and kind of pushed it through, and that brought out the other side of the screw. Piece of cake, huh? Put these in my pocket. Don't want to lose them on the forest floor. Undo this other one here. Kind of awkward doing it like this, but so you guys can see it. Okay. So put the mail in right into my other pocket. I'm wondering if it just kind of knocks out. Looks like it's coming actually. Yeah, got it. Didn't even need a stick for that one. There's no slots in the handle, so no, it's not like scales. It's just curves and goes right in there. Comes out piece of cake. You've been good to me. Let's bust open the new one. There we go. Be careful, guys. This thing is really sharp. So, I mean, those things are like razors. So here's a look at the handle. This is definitely not rocket science. Slides right into the slot. Let's put female in one side. It's got to go on that side. So you'll figure that out. The female end only fits on one side. It's kind of nice, foolproof. All right, be careful. I just noticed there's a washer on the male end, so I don't want to lose that. And I'll leave it a little loose till I get the other one set. So. All right. Nice. You notice immediately when it's tight enough, it pretty much stops dead. Doesn't go any further. There we go. Brand new blade. All right. Here's the part we've all been waiting for. New blade, same tree, same diameter. Let's see what this does, huh? Do it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. There's a little knot right here. I'm gonna go just in front of it. So, the comparison. highly recommend wearing gloves working with these saws. So I'll get it started a little bit. Oh, wow. You can feel it just grab so much better already. Big chunks of wood coming out. All right, here we go. Going right through a hard knot, I can feel it. Clean off. So between the two, wouldn't say there's a massive difference. This one's definitely rougher. I think that was the first cut from taking it down. This was the next one. You can definitely see it's a lot more rough and gritty. Yeah, this was the next one. The inside of the cut with the old one. And here's the fresh blade. Noticeably smoother. Okay. There's a comparison of an old and new blade. You can see the old blade still did pretty good. It's still worth using. Again, this saw is not intended for going through big pieces of tree like that. It's meant for delimbing, pruning, things like that. Let's go through another piece with the new blade a little higher up that isn't so knotted up and turned. So yeah, we're working about maybe 4.5, 5 inches diameter. The new blade. Let's give it a cut. You can just see how much material it pulls out. And I'm putting very little effort into that there. Pull, lighten up, push through, pull, lighten up, push through. There we go. Okay, let's see how fast I could take all these limbs off. Well, not all of them, I'm not going to go to the very end, but give you an idea of how quick this can go. See if you decide in your own mind if it's quicker than a hatchet or not. I made pretty quick work of that section. And that concludes the review of the Silky Zubat. This is an awesome saw, guys. I can't recommend it enough. If you're thinking about changing it up, going for an arborist style saw over a folder, you might be pleasantly surprised in how it performs. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found the information useful, enjoyed the demonstrations. I had a lot of fun trying out this new blade. It's going to do me well for another 2 years. All that work and sawing and bringing that tree over here got me hungry. I'm going to cook up some lunch, call it a day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys again next week. Until then, take care.